So, quantum computing. It sounds like something pulled straight from science fiction, right? But here's the thing, it's not fiction anymore. The quantum revolution is happening right now. And believe me, it is a high stakes, all out race between the biggest names in tech and, yeah, even global superpowers.
So what's all the fuss about? I mean, really? Are we actually talking about a machine that can solve problems we thought were, well, impossible? The short answer is yes. But to really get it, we need to completely rethink how a computer computes. Okay, so to understand this quantum future, we've got to first look at the here and now. See, every single computer you've ever touched, your phone, your laptop, everything, it speaks a really simple language. It's all just zeros and ones. But quantum computers, they're about to tear up that rule book. Think about it. Your phone, your laptop, they all run on what we call classical bits. And a bit is basically just a tiny light switch. It can be on or it can be off, a 1 or a 0. Simple. But a quantum bit, or a qubit as they call it, is a total game changer. Because of the super weird, mind-bending rules of quantum mechanics, a qubit can be a 0 and a 1 at the exact same time. This crazy ability is called superposition. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to imagine a spinning coin, right? While that coin is spinning in the air, is it heads or is it tails? Well, it's neither, and it's kind of both. It's just a blur of pure potential. That's exactly what a qubit is. And because of that, it can hold way, way more information than a simple on or off bit. And if you thought that was weird, hold on. Then we have entanglement. So you can link two of these qubits together so they become, well, connected. They're perfectly in sync. So if you measure one, you instantly, and I mean instantly, know the state of its partner. It doesn't matter if that partner is a millimeter away or on the other side of the galaxy. It's so bizarre that Albert Einstein himself called it spooky action at a distance. And it wasn't wrong. Okay, so what's the big takeaway here? When you put these two superpowers together, superposition and entanglement, you get something incredible. You get a machine that doesn't just calculate one path at a time. Oh no, it explores a massive, mind-boggling number of possibilities all at once in parallel. We're talking about solving problems in minutes that would take our very best supercomputers like millions of years to even get started on. That's the leap we're talking about. So, with that kind of incredible power on the table, it's probably no surprise that the biggest names in tech are pouring billions, and I mean billions of dollars into this. This isn't just some side research project. It's an all-in, high-stakes bet on who is going to control the future of computing itself.
And the race is absolutely on. The competition is just fierce. You've got Google, who's out there claiming they're already outperforming classical supercomputers. Then there's Amazon, integrating this stuff right into its AWS cloud service. Microsoft is in the game, trying to build more stable, robust qubits. IBM is a huge player, building out its platform so developers can actually start using this technology. And now even the chip giant NVIDIA is jumping in with both feet, signaling some major ambitions of its own.
Okay, but what does this mean in the real world? Like, for us? Well, think about medicine. We're talking about discovering new life-saving drugs in record time by simulating molecules perfectly. Or what about finance? Imagine predictive market models that are light years ahead of anything we have today. And AI? This could supercharge machine learning, unlocking breakthroughs we can't even begin to imagine right now. From designing better batteries to more efficient solar cells, the list just goes on and on. But you know, this race isn't just happening in Silicon Valley boardrooms. Oh no, it's also become a massive, high-stakes competition between nations. And the implications for global security, they are huge. The finish line that everyone is sprinting towards is this idea called quantum supremacy. So what is that? It's that key moment, that tipping point, when a quantum machine does something, anything, that is just flat out impossible for any classical computer on the planet to do in a reasonable amount of time. It's the proof of concept that changes everything. And this whole race really kicked into high gear back in 2019. That's when Google's Sycamore chip claimed it had hit that supremacy milestone. Now, whether it truly did is still debated, but that claim alone sent a massive shockwave through the tech world and, more importantly, through governments. Now we're seeing huge investments, like the U.S. National Quantum Initiative, because this is shaping up to be a strategic race for dominance, especially between the U.S. and China. And this is why governments are paying such close attention. See, the same incredible power that lets a quantum computer discover new drugs could also be used to shatter the encryption that protects basically our entire digital lives. I'm talking about everything from your online banking and private messages to secure military communications and classified government secrets.
With a powerful enough quantum computer, all of that could just become wide open, vulnerable. And just to put a number on how seriously this is being taken, the US government alone, through its National Quantum Initiative, is pumping over $1 billion into this. That's a huge investment, all to make sure it stays at the forefront of a technology that could literally redefine global power. Okay, so after all that incredible promise and all the billions of dollars flying around, I have to ground us in a little bit of reality. Building a useful, stable, large-scale quantum computer, it is one of the single hardest engineering challenges humanity has ever tackled. There are some absolutely massive hurdles we still need to clear. It really boils down to 3 huge challenges. First, just taming these things and keeping the qubits in that fragile quantum state. Second, figuring out how to scale them up, how to get more and more qubits working together. And third, dealing with error correction, because these systems are so sensitive, they're bound to make mistakes. And that first problem, something called decoherence, is really the biggest roadblock right now. You see, qubits are just unbelievably fragile. The tiniest vibration, the smallest change in temperature, any little disturbance from the outside world can knock them right out of their special quantum state and make them useless. So just shielding them from, the rest of the universe is this monumental engineering problem. So where does all this leave us? We've got this mind-bending science, a frantic race between corporations, and massive geopolitical stakes. The challenges, yes, they are enormous, but the momentum, it feels pretty much unstoppable at this point. So make no mistake about it, the quantum era is coming. And I think the only real question left is, are we ready for it?